Okay, we've arrived at the day of the closing. So, on the day of the closing, the buyers will conduct a final walkthrough at the property prior to the closing. And the final walkthrough takes place when the property is vacant. So, as the seller, you have moved out of the property, it is 100% vacant. You've left behind anything that was supposed to be included in the sale, you've removed anything that was supposed to be not included in the sale beyond your personal effects. You have fixed any home inspection issues have been taken care of and repaired, or whatever was negotiated. That's all been handled. And what happens is the buyer and the buyer's agent they do a final walkthrough at the property to make sure that it's vacant, it's in the condition that the buyer assumed they were purchasing it in. There's no damage that took place when the seller moved out. I've seen like final walkthrough situations where things have broken, where AC is not working or the heat's not working. So the buyers will test those items, make sure that there's no damage and nothing's broken. Assuming everything goes fine at the walkthrough, the buyers will then go to the closing. If there is an issue at the walkthrough, what usually happens is the buyer's agent will contact the seller's agent and say, look, there's a problem, take pictures, send those pictures to their attorney, and the attorneys will have to figure out the course of action. Say something is broken, say the central air is broken, it's not working. They may have to escrow money until that item is fixed. I've seen that happen. Or if there's damage, there's pictures taken, and they'll try to come up with some sort of negotiated amount that's either held in escrow until the repair is done, or give a credit to the buyer for some sort of amount to handle that item that may be damaged or broken. I don't really see that too often, but these things do come up. So after the final walkthrough, what usually happens is the buyers will go to the closing. Now, the buyers prior to the walkthrough have been probably told by their attorney or the title company how much to bring to closing as far as their remaining deposit, their closing costs, etc. You as a seller, by the day of the closing, will receive a copy of the closing statement to review, which shows your breakdown of the money coming into the transaction, the payoff to the lender, how much you're going to net on the transaction, down to the dollar and cent. So you as a seller will have to approve and sign off on that closing statement. The buyer also reviews the closing statement with their attorneys. Once everything's in agreement on the closing statement, the lender will then fund the purchase. The title company then will distribute all the funds. The buyer signs all the closing mortgage documents. You will sign the closing statement. Now, some sellers don't attend the closing, so all that would be signed in advance with the power of attorney. And then you will then, once the mortgage is signed and the title company distributes all the funds, then the sale has closed. What happens is then your funds are sent to your bank account or you're given a certified check, and the realtors receive their fees, the lawyers receive their fees, and the mortgage company receives their fees. If you own a condominium, what happens is the monthly maintenance fee is paid over the course of a month. You're usually credited back at closing down to the day. So if it's closing on the 20th of the month, you receive back 10 days or 11 days of maintenance fee that you've already paid. That's as part credited back to you at closing. You also at closing, you're going to want to transfer your utilities. So the buyer will arrange to have utilities transferred into their name the day of the closing. That would be gas, electric, water, sewer. On a water and sewer situation, if you're a homeowner, a single family homeowner, or in some condos, you may have to get a final water reading, a meter reading done prior to the closing, so that the buyer knows, how much they have to, if the water bill was paid already, how much someone needs to be credited back, or what the seller needs to pay going forward. So that may have to be done. But basically, all the utilities get transferred the day of the closing, and the funds get transferred. And then your attorney will let you know, okay, we officially closed, and you can expect the funds within a few hours by the title company. Any questions about this, please let me know. You'll also have to give all the keys over to the property at closing. That would be all garage door opener, mailbox keys, apartment keys, all the keys to the home, things like that. If there's an alarm system, who has it? Has it been disconnected? So that the buyer can set up that service if they want to. Any questions about this, please let me know. I know I went quickly, but there are a lot of ins and outs with closing, so it's always good to ask your agent, hey, am I missing anything? And that way it can be addressed at closing. My email is walter@livingonthehudson.com or 347-448-3766. Thank you.